Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the middle of the week. That's right, it's another hump day. And why is my background looking like that? It's supposed to be anyway. You know what? Whatever. Yeah, listen, this thing got me today. It don't supposed to be looking that clear. But anyway, welcome to the middle of the week, everybody. I'm your guy Z Fly, and you are keeping it real hot and fresh again with me. Listen, look, now I'm over here paranoid. Like, okay, what's that? Listen, everybody, just to get the little jump back there, listen, I don't know. Anyway, so welcome to another Keep It Real Hot and Fresh show on the Fly World Media Network. Once again, I am your guy, Z Fly. And right now you can see all of my social media on how you can connect with me. So yeah, here we are again. I do want to start off by saying just thank you to everybody. I see y'all. I see y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? The ones who are looking, the ones who are liking on the various platforms to see the show. So I do thank you for that. I do thank you for sharing too. I do see some people sharing the show. So I just want to thank you so much for all of that because that really, really helps. And continue to do so pretty please. All right, but yeah, so hopefully everybody is having a great day, having a great week so far. A lot of things that has been happening that I'm going to report on some of those things today. But I did want to kind of actually get into the TV watching. So I want to know, what are you all watching? Because I wanted to share with you all my TV list because let me tell you something. I watched so many shows that I actually had to like categorize things by the day. So like I try to watch things like Monday through Friday. 5 things are on my list, right? Well, actually, that's not true because what's on this list is my prime time watching. I don't really have my daytime watching because I watch like talk shows and so much stuff. So yeah, but in my prime time, I wanted to run by a few things that I watch. So on my Monday night, I started watching Tulsa King. Now I'm very behind. And I know some of you all are like, oh yeah, I'm in season 2. Well, yeah, I'm on season 1, and I'm probably like on episode 2. Yeah, because the reason why is because I have so many shows, and I gotta kind of combine them into what I'm saying, five shows each day. So like for example, whenever I finish a show, then I put another show in that spot. That's how bad it is. I have a whole list of things. But actually, I'm not as bad as I think because other people, they have shown me their list. It's almost like a novel of shows. And I'm like, how do you get through this? So yeah, so on Monday, I started watching Tulsa King, which is very, very good. Like Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, very, very well. It's so funny. Like episode 1, I was like this, like, oh my God, what's about to happen? What's about to happen? So yeah, I'm really looking to see what's going to happen with that. Like I said, I've just started episode 1 or season 1, episode 2, I think. So yeah, very, very good. On my Tuesday nights, I have a lot of things, but one thing that stands out is The Last Man. I know that's kind of old too. Well, it's not old, but it's been out a while. With oh my God, I can't think his name. Oh my God, he was used to be married to Angelina Jolie. I got his face, I can't think of his name, but yeah, y'all know what I'm saying. I almost said it. But anyway, yeah. But that's a good show as well. The Last Man on Paramount Plus. Yeah, it's about, I think it's about mining, right? Or not mining, but something burning or cold or something. Look, I watched the show, don't even know what it's about. I do know what it's about, I just can't think. But that's a good one. So yeah, now that one I am more further along. I'm probably like on maybe episode 7 or 6 or something like that. But you know what? The daughter and the wife, they are. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. I won't tell everything. But if you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. The daughter and the wife, oh, they are a hot mess. And the daughter is real crazy because they're living with him, with the dad, the main actor, and the daughter just walking around in her panties, lingerie, and I'm like, is this how you walk around with your dad? So, but then again, if you see the mom, you see the apple don't fall far from the tree. So yeah, I watched The Landman on Tuesdays. On Wednesday, I watched Raising Kenan, and that's part of the Power Books. I think it's Power Book number 3, I think. So yeah, I believe. But yeah, Raising Kenan is back for a new season. And yeah, it's something else. I'll tell you, it's yeah, I get hooked. What else? My Thursdays, one thing I watch is The Oval, the Tyler Perry's The Oval. Now I know a lot of people they don't follow Tyler Perry's prime time because sometimes the plot can kind of drag out. It seems like bad acting. I heard it a lot, but I don't know. I like Tyler Perry, so I try to support him. And his primetime shows, they do pack a lot of heat. They be doing some of the most in those shows. Also on Thursday, I watched that show 1923. I think that's what is actually either the prequel to Yellowstone, and it's the sequel to 1883. I think those are some good. Yeah, those type of shows like that they're good. They are really, really good. So yeah, 1923 on Paramount Plus. Also watched on Friday. I watched Dr. Odyssey. Somebody got me hooked into that. I'm only on episode 3, I think, with that. So yeah, I'm still fairly new. It's about these medical people on a ship, on a cruise ship. It's actually very interesting if you think about it, because it kind of shows, how things are. In other words, it kind of gives you the life behind the scenes of the workers of, being on a cruise ship, like what they go through and what they experience. So yeah, it kind of focuses around the captain and like his medical team. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Also on Friday, I watched this show called Special Forces. As y'all probably know, that's about the military, how they have these celebrities and they put them through all these different trials and tribulations and things, and just treat them so bad. Well, I say treat them bad, but I mean, they don't treat them bad. They're just really getting them ready, to like overcome their fears and, what I'm saying, to see how they would do in these different tasks if they were in the military. And then on the weekend, my weekend shows. Now on the weekend is also like my movie time. I watch a lot of movies on the weekend, but also some shows I watch are Found. Found with Mark Paul Gosselaar and the girl from Shameless. I forgot her name, but yeah, they're very good. I watched The Masked Singer. I think that's in season 10 or 11 by now. And then I watched. Now this is like my how do you say it? My dirty, not my dirty little secret, but like my little dirty pastime. Like I watched that show Perfect Match. But I like a lot of those type of love competition shows like Perfect Match, Too Hot to Handle, Love Island. But yeah. But right now on the weekend, I'm watching Perfect Match on Netflix. So yeah, so those are just some of the things I watched during the week. I want to share that with you. Let me know in the comments what are some of the shows that you watch, and what are your favorite shows to watch? So let me know. All right. Also, everybody, coming up this weekend, that's right, my project, the Lavender Project, is back at it again. As you know, if you do know or you don't know, I have a project that's raising awareness on women diagnosed or living with endometrial cancer. So this weekend, I'm going to be traveling south, everybody, yes, to North Carolina, to Raleigh, the capital. There's going to be a like a 3 seasons vendor market. So I'm going to be a part of that, showcasing some of my merchandise with the Lavender Project, my custom merchandise that is. So I'll be doing that. That's gonna be Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. But actually, I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about that later in the show. Okay, so I know I'm talking too much. All right, and last I wanted to go. So as you know, this week, I believe on Monday, everybody, we had another big launch to the space, right? That's right. If you all remember, there were some women who went to space. Gail King, Katy Perry, Lauren Sanchez, Asia Bowe, Amanda Nguyen, and Carrie Ann Flynn make history as they become Blue Origin's first all-female flight crew to launch into space. So yes, so that's what happened this past Monday. Of course, Jeff Bezos was he's the curator of it all. And and I don't know if you all saw the video whenever they were first going, but Gail King, she looked like she lost the bet. She looked like, what did I get myself into? Like, do I really have to do this? That's some scary stuff. Also, too, I do know that whenever they got back on land, Gail King was kissing the ground, and I do not blame her because I do that. I do that whenever I get off of a plane. Well, I don't literally do it, but I want to. Yeah, but I can imagine going up in space. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's leaving the world. It's one thing to leave the country. They leave the world, and now they're up in space. So yeah, so that happened this past Monday. So yeah, lots going on, and even more is going on. So let's go ahead and get this show started with In the Know. Hit it.
Did you know? 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 Did you know?
Now, did you know that there are certain bars and restaurants out there that are called the most outstanding in the country? Did y'all know that? You didn't know that? Well, let's get into it. All right, foodies and restaurants lovers across the U.S. will need to add some new spots to their list of places to eat with the James Beard Foundation officially announcing its finalists for this year's most outstanding restaurant and bars in the country. Now, the foundation recently announced its list of nominees for the 35th annual James Beard Restaurant and Chef Awards, which will be held in Chicago on June the 16th. Winning a James Beard Award is considered one of the highest honors in the food world. The foundation recognizes exceptional talent and achievement in the culinary arts. You know, it's so funny because, you know, these foods and these restaurants, and, you know, it is very big. You know, for one thing, people love to listen. We love to eat, right? And there are so many. I mean, and then food has its own network, the Food Network. And it's really sad that I don't think there is not one show that I watch on the Food Network, like all those shows. Now, I mean, and you really can learn a lot. You know, you can learn a lot. I don't know. I just haven't never really been interested to actually watch a show, but I don't know. Maybe I need to. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really have ideas for a restaurant per se, but I do have some ideas for like a little eatery or cafe. I don't know. So maybe I need to start watching some of these shows to get some ideas. Because I'm telling you, these people are winning big. Like, for example, this year's nominees for most outstanding restaurant are all over the U.S. The first is all the way out in Portland, Oregon, called Coquin. The restaurant serves French-inspired meals and is apparently located on top of an extinct volcano. Now, you know what? Let me tell you something. They're talking about the volcano is extinct. Yeah, okay. Yeah, until it starts. Listen, it's extinct until it's not. But you know what? There would be kind of interesting. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of dine there. I know, like, it's so exotic, you know, out there in Portland. Now, the next restaurant is Fresca Food and Wine, found in Boulder, Colorado. Fresca draws inspiration from the culinary and wine traditions of Italy. Ooh, and you know what? It's so funny because I have cousins who live. Oh no, I don't. Cousins, no. I know someone who lives in Colorado, and I think Boulder. It's like I've been there. I think I'm thinking of Boulder, Arizona. I think Arizona has a Boulder too. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, the third nominee is found in Chicago, Illinois, which is Galit or however you say it. It's a Middle Eastern restaurant that focuses on seasonal and localized approach to dishes. Next is South in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, where Nonsuch, I say these people, these names can be found. An American restaurant with an adventurous tasting menu. You know, listen, I'm curious about these places. And then the final restaurant that was nominated was Oberlin, which can be found all the way in northeast corner of the country in Providence, Rhode Island, an Italian restaurant best known for its pasta and for its dishes. So isn't that something? Like, these places are like known in the country to be just outstanding restaurants. Now, that says a lot. Out of all these restaurants in the country, these ones that I just said are like finalists of like outstanding bars and restaurants. Now, similarly, there are 5 bars nominated as the most outstanding in the U.S. You can find the nearest one near you, one is Kumiko in Chicago, Illinois, Scotch Lodge in Portland, Oregon, the Lovers Bar at Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Water Witch in Salt Lake City, Utah, and Wolf Tree in White River Junction, Vermont. So those are some of the outstanding bars that are out there. So congratulations to those people. That's really big to be, to be recognized and highlighted as of the best of the outstanding bar or restaurant in the country. Kudos to you. All right, moving along. So users report mass issues with WhatsApp on Down Detector. Now, if y'all use WhatsApp, you might have been having some problems. Now, if you weren't able to send any messages on WhatsApp, you may not be the only one. Now, thousands of WhatsApp users reported issues with the service on Saturday morning, starting around 9:30 a.m., according to Down Detector. Now, more than 90% of users reported issues with sending messages on the app, while about 4% reported problems with receiving. Now, this happened on Saturday. So now we are in the middle of the week. So hopefully by now, WhatsApp is working. I know I used it recently today, and it was working. So hopefully all over, it is back up and running. Pix 11 News contacted Meta for a statement regarding the reported issue, but did not hear back at the time of publishing. So like I said, hopefully countrywide or worldwide, wherever WhatsApp is used, is back up and running. All right, and last up on the list is Trump exempts phones, computers, and other electronics from reciprocal tariffs. That's right. The Trump administration is exempting electronics such as phones, computers, and other electronics from the tariffs imposed on other nations, including China. Now, guidance posted by Customs and Border Protection, which collects duties on imports, indicated roughly 20 products will be excluded from reciprocal tariffs. Those include smartphones, computers, routers, and semiconductor chips. Now, the exemptions could be a break for consumers who are facing the possibility of paying higher prices on electronics because of steep tariffs imposed on China. It's also a win for companies like Apple, which manufactures many of its products in China. Now, I heard something more on this, that Apple was going to move forward regardless. So it says like Apple, they're not really interested in what Trump is saying. But the White House earlier this month announced a 10% baseline tariff on foreign imports, as well as steeper reciprocal tariffs on dozens of other countries, including key trading partners. Trump later announced the steeper tariffs will be reduced to 10% for 90 days to allow time for negotiation. Trump told reporters on Air Force One on Friday night that he was optimistic the U.S. and China would be able to work something out, citing his relationship with President Xi Jinping. Now, he said Trump is very, very confident by saying, I think something positive is going to come out of it. So, we're going to see what's going on with all these tariffs. I know that the tariffs and all this has become very, very big and just very, very concerning. But, President Trump, he's still signing bills and signing contracts and signing everything. All right, and you are now in the know, I believe. Yes, do y'all feel like y'all are in the know? All right, everybody. So I do want to put out there that, if you are, if you do watch the show every week, once again, thank you. But if you are looking for sponsorship, I definitely want to be that one to sponsor you. We have a very, very great sponsorship package, that we can all talk about and, meet your needs. So check out this video, and this may just be the place for you for sponsorship. Check this out. Hey everybody, it's your guy Z Fly from Fly World Media, and I have an exciting opportunity just for you. Now, are you looking for a powerful way to promote yourself, your business, or your product? Do you want to get your brand in front of a fresh, engaged audience that's ready to support and take action? Then look no further. Here at Fly World Media, we offer an array of affordable and highly beneficial sponsorship packages designed to give your brand the exposure, visibility, and impact it deserves. Now, whether you're a business owner, entrepreneur, artist, or product creator, we have a package that fits your needs and budget. From on-air mentions and digital promotions to exclusive ads placements, we make sure your brand gets the attention it deserves. So what are you waiting for? Let's get your brand noticed today. Now, to apply for a sponsorship package, email us at sponsorship@flyentertainment.media, and let's make magic happen together. Fly World Media, where your brand takes flight. That's right. Now, did y'all see that blurry background? That's how mine's supposed to be looking right now. All right. But anyway, right now, let's go ahead and keep the show moving. And listen, I got your PAP for today. Pause and pour. Let's get into it.
Oh my God. 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 Oh my God.
I swear that track is the best. It's just the best for this segment, because this is definitely an oh my God moment. Okay, everybody, remember pause and pour. Okay, so we're going to get into a man. Now, actually, this is the first time that this has happened in the history of mankind, but every time we see it, it's so like, you just got to pause. So a man, he got a girl and her mom pregnant. So right now we're going to pause and watch the video. Okay, let's watch the video. Let's pause and watch the video.
It's a beautiful thing, mother and daughter sharing the same husband and baby daddy. It's such a beautiful thing.
It's not often that a mom and daughter are pregnant at the same time, let alone by the same man, but we wouldn't want things to be any other way. So when I found out that my mom was pregnant and by the same man as me, honestly it was unexpected because again, we weren't trying at all for a baby, but I don't think there was ever a moment in my mind where, I was upset about it. It was pure joy and bliss for me, to know that I get to carry a baby alongside the woman who birthed me. And that our baby's going to share that, DNA from the same man. And, he's been so supportive and sweet, and I couldn't imagine things any other way now.
I really crave the sweet and salty. And so, anything from potato chips dipped in ice cream to pizza drizzled with chocolate. I try to get Nick to...
Okay. And then the next thing that we do, everybody, is we pour. Okay. So as y'all know, if you don't know, I'm doing a detox. So my pour is going to be coming from the delicious taste of ginger ale. So let's go on and pour. There might be enough. Actually, it might not be enough. Okay, I got my pour on, everybody. Okay, so now let's get into this. Okay, for one thing, I don't even know where to even attack that. Hold on. This will be good with some tequila. Leave me alone, people. Now listen. Did y'all just sip it on yourself? Okay. What? And look, here's the sad thing about it, because now, mind you, I find the content, right? But it's like, but when I actually do this show and I actually see it, I just can't believe it. I don't know who to start with first. Now, let's start with the daughter. She just said that she was so happy to be carrying a child at the same time with her mom and sharing the same DNA. Okay, what is this child even going to be? Okay, that's her. Okay, I'm confused. Okay, because the child's going to be, okay, the girls, that's your grandma. What are two childs going to be to each other? Because that's wait a minute now. That's my sister or brother. So that's the girl's sister or brother, and then that's the woman's grandchild. I don't know. Y'all figure it out. But the point is, isn't it a sad moment in time? And then the guy, he just sitting there. All three of them got problems. And how some people, my people, they'll be quick to say, "Oh, that's that." Those people stuff. Well, no, because it was both sides of the hand. Yeah. So you can't blame one. He's sitting there he just wow. Okay. Wow. It's just so sad and sick. And it really make you want to pause, pour, and just fall on the floor. Just think of the children when they grow up. You know what I'm saying? That you're my mom, but does that work normal? And then I don't know. How you, okay, you're my mom and you my grandma at the same, you my aunt and you my sister, you my aunt, is that how you no, not aunt, I don't know. The point I'm trying to make, you see how weird it is? Twisted, it's so twisted. But anyway, so that was your pause and pour. Woo! Okay, but listen, let's move on from that. I can't even get the words out to even express it. You all let me know in the comments what you all think. Maybe y'all can express it more than me. Next, let's go ahead to something even worse. Let's go to the COD, cringe of the day. Hit it. And you know, I always say that. I always say to everybody, I always say, let's go to the cringe of the day, but it's the same thing. My bad. All right, so your cringe of the day, I have the cringe of the day. Now, once again, now, as you know, President Trump, he reversed the gender back to only two genders, male and female. And I think he also started to get men's out of women's sports, or just men's out of women's spaces. I believe he signed that as well. But right now, but here are some who ain't got out of women's spaces, completely. Look at this video of two trans men competing, and guess what? Surprisingly, winning women's sports. Check this out. Yeah, so as you see, two men will face each other for a women's championship title at the Ultimate Pool Women's Pro Series event tonight in the UK. Okay, so there you have it. So the UK. So this ain't the USA. The UK, obviously, they ain't got it together yet. Now, so Harriet Haynes and Lucy Smith, both trans-identified males, beat all female competitors to take the sports and women's final event. Wow. Are y'all surprised that Harriet and Lucy beat all the real women at their own game? Are you surprised? Wow. I mean, this is so cringy, because it's like, I think I said this before. In male sports, this will never happen. Do you think that actual real men will allow a trans man? Now, a trans man is a female who transitioned to a man. Do you think that they would let trans men into their spaces? Like, for example, think of NFL. And let's just say there's trans men out here, getting into the NFL, the NHL, the NBA, and all them other man sports. Do you think the actual men will allow trans men to get into their spaces, their sports, and actually win? Oh, God, no. That will never happen. But for whatever reason, the world doesn't look at women important enough to be like, no, this is very disrespectful to actual women, letting men basically come into their spaces, into their sports, and win their trophies and awards. I'm telling you, the NFL will never, this is something, this will never go down in the NFL. Can you imagine that? Yeah, you got trans men out there on the football, in the Super Bowl, and actually doing better than actual men. Can you imagine, like, all these, yeah, it's just sad. So hopefully the UK will get on board with the USA and stop letting these men in woman face, because that's what it is, woman face, play women's sports. Look at how they look. I don't understand these people. And they got so many transgender people. Why don't they have their own, their own teams of nothing but transgender people? That way it makes sense. Because think about it. Isn't it ridiculous? Y'all know it's ridiculous. Y'all just don't want to say it. But think about it, because now actual men, right? Actual males. Well, actually, these are actual males too. But what I'm saying is, but males who identify as male, it's crazy. I gotta do another pour. Yeah, and this ain't even no real stuff. But I gotta do another pour, because this stuff will really drive you crazy. See how I'm talking in tippy toes like actual males, but those are actual males. They just dressed up as women, but they're actual males. But they just act like they have a problem. That's what it is. They got a problem. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, so actual identified males, would they let actual identified males into the women's sports? No, they wouldn't. So why would you let this right here into a woman's sport? It's still a male. Now, if they have that many problems, and if they want to play sports that bad, then they need to create the first transgender sports league or something. That way, everybody have their own league. Men have theirs, women have theirs, and transgender have theirs. Whew, okay, I'm about to take a little break. Oh no, I ain't taking no break. Now I got to talk more. Wow. Ginger ale is good, y'all. Listen, don't sleep on ginger ale. Woo. Okay, let's move on to something else. Okay, now in the beginning of the show, I was about to tell you about the Lavender Project. Yeah, let's just talk about something more positive. The Lavender Project is going to Raleigh, North Carolina, as you see. That's right, April the 19th. Yeah, this Saturday. April 19th, we're going to be involved in the Three Seasons Vendor Market. It's like a street market that's going to have an array of different vendors, selling their products. So, so the Lavender Project is going to be there. Once again, the Lavender Project is a project raising awareness on women diagnosed or living with endometrial cancer. So I'm going to be there, giving out brochures, education, things like that. And also, too, I do have my custom-made gear. So that'll be happening in Raleigh, North Carolina this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So if you are in the Raleigh area, come on out and join me. That's right. It's going to be at 9500 Forum Drive in Raleigh, North Carolina. And for more info, if you can see it, you can contact Kate at Magic Moon Shop with 2 P's and an E.com. So Kate at Magic Moon Shop, SHOPPE.com for more information. So there you have it. But but other than that, just come on out from 10 to 3. Look at all the vendors. Stop by the Lavender table and get you a little something good. Okay, so that's happening this Saturday, April 19th in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'll see you then. All right, but right now we're going to go ahead and get into thank you. Also, you probably saw the information scrolling at the bottom. There you go. So that way you can look at more about the Lavender Project. Right now we're going to get to a quick music break. Whenever we get back, you definitely want to stick around because we're going to get into real talk of it all. So I'm going to be talking about tipping. You know what I'm saying? Listen, at the restaurants, it's getting a little bit just out of hand with the tipping, everybody. And not just the restaurants, these apps too, like Uber Eats and DoorDash, these fees are crazy. And also, we're going to be talking about, is education doomed for our children? All that and more coming up next after the break. Keep it right fresh. Okay, hey y'all. Welcome back, everybody, to Keeping It Real Hot and Fresh with your guy Z Fly on Fly World Media. And right now, we're about to get into that real talk. So let's get into it. Hit it. All right, everybody, here we go with some real talk. Okay, so I have two amazing topics today, and I think it really hits home with a lot of people. I know it does for me. So the first topic we're going to get into is has tipping culture gotten out of hand? You know what I'm saying? What once was considered a gesture for good service has now become an annoying, intrusive tax. Isn't that right? I mean, yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's almost like you don't want to go out anymore. You just don't want to do nothing, Oh, excuse me, it's that ginger ale from earlier. But yeah, so so now, so as y'all know, tipping used to be, it used to be a gesture, basically. A way to say thank you for exceptional service. But now it feels more like a demand, a requirement, or worse, a form of social pressure. Now, how many of you all feel like that? I know I do. Now, see, I must admit, now for me, I have become like I really became I've been. I was about to say I become a homebody, but not really. I guess it's like half and half. Like I'll stay. I love being home, but then I also go out as well. But when I'm home, I will do things like Uber Eats or Grubhub. Have y'all seen these services? All these little fees and things like that. Now, even though the fees and stuff, that's not like tipping. But then once you get to the tipping, you don't want to tip because you don't got so much. And then they got service fee, this fee, a transportation fee. They're just making up stuff. So it just make you not even want to tip nobody. And then as you know, look at that, add a tip. Yeah, the tip thing went up too. It used to be like 10% back in the day. Now they tell us, at least 20% or 15%. I'm thinking to myself, like, are you kidding me? Have you seen what I just paid? So now from some restaurants to self-checkout counters and drive-throughs, the tip screen pops up whether or not a person actually served you. That is so true. Now, so we have to ask, when did gratitude turn into guilt? That is so true. Like, for example, where have I been? I've been to like places like that. Is it Starbucks? I don't know if it's Starbucks, but it's, like some of these little maybe convenience stores or Starbucks or something where now they're asking for tips. And I'm thinking to myself, like, well, why you need a tip for? Like, you doing what you're supposed to do. I give you my order at Starbucks, and you tell the people in the back what I want, and that's it. And then at the end, it does have give them a tip for just running the register. Yeah. So you know what? Yeah, and you know what? Okay, hold on. This is a lot because they just want so much money, and they need to go talk to their employer. You know what I'm saying? Because see, as y'all probably know, they always say the restaurant business industry, it doesn't make a lot of money, so they live off their tips. I never understood that. Do you? I never understood why they don't want to pay their people and they want us, the customer, to pay them. You know what I'm saying? My thing is because, like think of retail industry. Retail industry, they give them a certain amount, you know what I'm saying? And that's what they get. Retail don't go off of tips. So why can't they do the same thing with the restaurant? Now let's get into why are more services expecting tips nowadays. Now, they had a lot of reasons of why people are expecting tips nowadays, or restaurants or businesses. It says the rise of digital payment systems. Here we go. Here, right there on your screen. Yeah. Make it easier for businesses to ask for tips and harder for customers to say no without feeling awkward. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. You can ask for a tip, but look, y'all, do y'all see that at the bottom? No tip. That's right. Or give $1. Now, I know, I know that's me. I guess it depends on the service too. But listen, also too, I am a fond believer of, like, for example, you go out to these nice restaurants, right? Do y'all see the prices of this food? Especially if, like, it could be up to $50, $60, sometimes $100. And now you just spent $100 at this establishment, and then they still want more money. And now they'll say, "Oh, well, this isn't for the establishment. This is for your waiter or whomever." Well, then you pay them. Aren't they working for you? Also, some people will say that the COVID-19 pandemic sparked a movement to support essential workers, which normalized tipping even in non-traditional roles. So, yeah, I will say that, we did see a lot of this after pandemic. I mean, not 9/11, COVID-19. Yeah, we started to see like all these extra services and tips and things like this. And then it says the gig economy platforms like Uber, DoorDash, and Instacart have also blurred the line between employees and independent contractors, with tipping used to bridge the income gap. So is tipping really about appreciation anymore, or have we just accepted it as an unofficial wage supplement? Now, those places like Uber and DoorDash. Now, yes, I will say that the drivers they should get a tip. But what it is, but the problem is whenever the restaurant or the app or whomever, whenever they add in all these other fees, like I said, the service fee and all kinds of like just crazy stuff. So I thought that between the restaurant and the app or whomever it is, they need to figure out, okay, now if we want the worker to get more tips, then they need to get rid of some of these fees, because nobody wants to pay all this extra stuff. For example, let's say you're ordering something. Actually, I'll tell you about my situation. I do Uber Eats. Sometimes I might get Chinese food, right? And on sometimes the Chinese food on Uber Eats or wherever, like different restaurants on Uber Eats, they'll have a deal like buy one, get one free, right? So like, let's just say I'm ordering from a Chinese spot and like it says it has a buy one, get one free, meaning that you buy one meal and then you get the identical meal for free. Now let's just say the meal is, I don't know, let's say it's $12, $13, something like that, like for a sesame chicken dinner or something like that. Okay, $12, right? But when you get to that last page, you're about to pay $30 for a $12 meal, $30 or more because of the fees, and then they want the tip. So that's what I'm saying. So it's ridiculous. So it's like whenever you about to pay $30, where listen, I might as well just walk to the Chinese place. You know what I'm saying? I get out cheaper. It's just too much. So yeah. So it's just not. Now let's also go into now. Do employers use this guilt trip tactic to get customers to pay their employees' wages and save a buck? Now, didn't I just say that? Yes, I believe so. Now, many employers, now factor tips into pay structures, allowing them to pay sub-minimum wages while expecting customers to make up the difference. Now, a lot of these restaurants are making bank, you know what I'm saying? Especially like a lot of these chain restaurants, they make a lot of money. So why can't they just give their employees, like a set rate, an hourly rate, and not like an hourly rate that's like $5 an hour, but like, like a decent hourly rate. Now, my thing is, if McDonald's can pay people $15 and $17 an hour, then I know some of these big restaurants can definitely pay their people. They're just cheap. Tipping has essentially become a way for companies to push payroll responsibility onto the consumer. It has been like that for a long time. We're sitting here trying to pay these employees' wages or wherever. It's not up to us. We come to just have a dining experience, you know what I'm saying? To come to this restaurant, eat, have a good time. And now I feel guilty, like, oh my God. Okay, now my meal was just $50. Look, I mean, I still got to pay my MasterCard bill. You know what I'm saying? So now I got to worry about paying you and then giving you a good tip. You over there looking like sad with puppy dog eyes, wanting $20 tip. I need this $20 for my gas to get home. Yeah, it's a lot of guilt that goes on in these restaurants. And also this also introduces wage inconsistency. Some workers make a decent living, depending on the generosity of others, while others struggle to meet basic needs. Now look at this poor woman right here. All she wants is a muffin, and now she got a tip. It's just ridiculous. Look at her self-checkout, and look at her. She's signing. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, you get like some of the simplest things, and then they talk about some. Okay, now can I have $10? I mean, $10 tip, that's more than what the muffin is. The muffin was only $3. And now you want me to give you a $10 tip for just doing what you're supposed to do, taking my order and going back there and get my muffin and hand it to me. Now I got to give you $10. Something's wrong. So, it prompts the question, are we tipping because we want to or because we feel we have to? And who's really benefiting from that? Okay. I'm just saying, everybody, let's talk about it. So let me know what you all think in the comments. Do y'all think that tipping culture has gotten out of hand? Let me know down in the comments. Okay. All right. So now let's go on to the next topic of today. So now let's talk about, is the education system doomed? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Look at it. For teachers to teach, our students failing tests and grades due to not being able to read or write. And that's very bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, whenever you feel like, you're sending your kid to school to 12 to 13 years, and then when they come out of school, they can't even read or write. You ask them to read this book and they are having problems. That's a problem. That's a problem, right? So now, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it real. Our public education system is in crisis. From teacher shortages to students graduating without basic literacy skills. We have to ask, are we failing our children? And, a lot of times teachers they're underpaid. You know what I'm saying? If you remember a few episodes ago, or maybe it was last episode, I don't know, but a couple episodes ago, I was talking about how, our entertainers, they make so much money. Like, for example, the athletes, they get like almost what is it? $100 million in a contract, all this money, excuse me, going to, all these, like going to one athlete, you know what I'm saying, to play a couple seasons. But then the school system, they can't even get teachers a good salary. Isn't that a problem? So now, if students can't read or write, how can we expect them to thrive in life? Remember, the Gen Z, right now, they are the future. And now we see how they act. You know what I'm saying? All they want to do is like play games and be on social media and like like be content creators and all this type of stuff. Now, not saying content creator is bad. I mean, obviously that's what I'm doing. But what I'm saying is, do you know how to read or write? That's my thing. Can you add 1 + 1? Things like that. It's just bad. We're not just talking about test scores either. We're talking about the future of an entire generation. So now let's go back a little bit and let's talk about the lack of teachers and like what it really looks like. Now, teachers burnout is real. Okay. The teachers are burnout is real. Also, too, another thing that's real is like the gender of teachers. There was one point where it was hard to get male teachers into the school systems. You know what I'm saying? Like, because many leave due to low pay, lack of respect, and increasing pressure without proper resources. That's right. They won't even give, teachers the proper resources to teach the kids. Some kids, now I know in a lot of school systems now, now they have their MacBook and, they have a lot of like upgraded type of things that they use. I don't even know if they use books anymore because a lot of this stuff is so digital. So I don't know what they're using, but I do know that a lot of schools were using like MacBooks and Chromebooks and things like that. Yeah. So but I guess teachers still need certain resources to even teach the students. Now in some districts, unqualified or substitute teachers are filling gaps just to keep classrooms afloat. Now, I remember back, when I went to school, your substitute teacher, they were there very sporadically. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that, like either your teacher was sick or like they had to go to a meeting or whatever, or they have vacation. A substitute teacher was there, just to fill in. But now, some of these students are seeing the substitute teacher as a teacher every day. Cause the real teacher, like I said, they burnt out. They like, okay, yeah, she can fill in. I'm good. I'm gonna stay home. They don't want to be there. Now look at this classroom. I mean, I don't know if is a flood happening? Isn't it bad? I don't know where this is at, but it looks horrible. The floor looks like there's water They are having a flood, and the teacher is still trying to teach in a river, basically. Poor thing. This is not good. This is not good. Now, you mean to tell me now? Hey, now listen. I know all. Now this might be in another country, maybe, and I know everybody don't have the money. But I mean, you got to teach the kids with water on the floor. It's almost like they're teaching kids in a pool. How can the kids really focus and their shoes are drowning? You know what I'm saying? They got water in between their toes. Look at the teacher. She's splashing and walking. I sure hope she got on flip flops because that's all they need to have on. Now, also too, larger class sizes and lower support means less personalized attention for each student, which can lead to academic decline. That is so true because now they're just trying to pack so many students into a classroom and with one teacher. So the teachers, they can't really focus on like all the students because there's just too many of them. Look at that. You see all them hands? They would give me anxiety. I'm like, oh my goodness. Can y'all listen one at a time? Like, listen. I mean, I told y'all I would have a pause and poor day every day in that classroom. And especially whenever you have like younger students, you know what I'm saying? Like that right there, they're raising their hand. They all want attention. You're going to need a pause and poor break. So, we got to ask, are we paying teachers enough to stay, or are we setting them up to walk away? That's a good question. So now let's also talk about, are students failing because they can't read or write? That's very big. Now, like I said earlier, literacy rates are dropping, especially in underserved communities. This is a national red flag. Now, technology and social media can be distractions, pulling kids away from core skills like reading, comprehension, and writing. Like I said, the Chromebooks are good. That's good. The kids are learning how to type, keyboarding. That was a class back in the day, and it may still be. But reading and actually picking up a pencil or pen to write is very essential. Typing is good. Yes, it is good to type. I mean, listen, it is good to type, especially in today's world, because, most jobs are, computer, whatever. But it's also good to write. Now, if you can't write your own name, there's a problem. I saw a show recently where I think it was saying like the new generation, they don't know how to write their name in cursive. Isn't that something? They don't know what cursive is, or they don't know how to use cursive. So they go to show you what's happening in the school system. Like a lot of things that once were. Oh yeah, can we move the banner? I love this picture. Yes, this picture is good. Look at this right. This picture says it all. Look at failing schools, and look at who are holding up the failing schools: the principals and the teachers. While the parents are just laying down. They're laying down on the job. Now, these are their children, but the teachers and the principals are the ones who are raising the kids. The principal and the teachers, they're ones who are actually holding the failing schools up. The parents need to be there. Now, I'm not speaking for all parents. I know some parents are hands-on, but this picture is very telling. It said a lot of parents, they're not hands-on. They send their children to school, and a lot of parents, they want the teachers and the principals to deal with the children. Yeah, while the parents are laying there, the parents are out watching TV. Actually, I know a parent like this. They ain't saying no names, but yeah, this person, they send their child to school, and they let the teachers and the principals raise their child. And whenever the teachers tell the parent, the things that the child is doing, the parent don't want to believe it. Oh, no, not my child. Or, oh, no, I don't think he's doing that. Well, why not? Yeah, he's doing that and more. The teachers, like, why would the teacher just be telling you lies? Anyway. So some students are passed through grades despite not mastering the basics, setting them up for failure in higher grades and life beyond school. If that ain't the truth. I know some. Listen. I know y'all be like, he always knows somebody. I do. I be knowing these people. I don't say their name, but I know their situation. Yep, that same person I was just telling you about. that person's child got passed to now this person is in elementary school, and that person's child got passed to the other grade, which they shouldn't have, because I'm telling you the truth, this child cannot. I don't think the child can read. And I ain't trying to be funny, but this child is 8 years old. That ain't funny. No. Well, I'm just saying the child. No, the child is 7 years old, people. Yeah, and I ain't talking about nobody. The child is 8. It will be 8 this month, and cannot read. Cannot read. Now, 8 years old in the second grade, and shouldn't have been passed. Can't read. So I'm just saying that this stuff is real. And like I said, and then see exactly. Yeah, and these are the grades that a lot of kids are getting, and now they want to hide their face. Well, don't hide your face now because they're in school. They're not listening to the teachers. That's why the teachers are going crazy. They're not listening to the teachers. And listen, they're fighting the teachers. They cuss the teachers out. They don't listen to the teachers. They walk out of class. Yeah. And then whenever they get that grade, now the parents want to get up in the teacher's face. Now, why you give my child an F? Excuse me, instead of realizing that your child is a menace. But a lot of people, they don't want to think that of their children, so they get on the teacher. So, we got to ask ourselves, if a child is prompt to the next grade but can't read or write, who's really being passed? The student or the blame? We got to really, I ain't gonna say we. I ain't got no children. So you parents out there, you have to really get serious with your kids' education. And, where do you want them to be after, during school and beyond? Because now, listen, we can turn on the news right now and we can see what a lot of kids are doing in school and beyond. Yeah. Whenever you start hearing this person got arrested, this person did this. Yeah. Okay. Some of y'all children. Okay. And yeah, that's what I have for you today. Okay. You are yeah, that's the real talk. Let me know what you all think in the comments, because this is really sad. It's really sad. Whenever you see a child making F's and D's all the time. And then there are some children who are happy with D's. Yeah, because they say, I'm passing. So they're very happy with D's. Yeah, some people, you say that D was a dummy. So, you might be passing, but you a dummy to be happy making a D. So, yeah. All right, let's get to a short music break. Whenever I get back, I'm going to get you drunk off the juice. Some of y'all might already be drunk off some of these stories I done told today. But let's keep the show moving. We're drunk off the juice next after the music break. Keep it locked, because you are keeping it hot, real hot and fresh with me. Bye.
I find myself here again on these soaking sheets, raw, bare naked, exposed, open. With every entry, my fluid secretes, leaving behind stains. The stains of my pain, frustration, hunger, desire, confusion, happiness. My excitement to release all that is in me. I'm ready. It's been bottled up, waiting, craving to explode so I could blow your mind. Make you stop for just a moment and say, damn, that's you? Yeah, that's me. See, I'm full of surprises if you just take the time to dig underneath my layers of mystery. Dig deeper. I'm confident that I will surpass your fantasies, have you addicted, wanting more and more. Yeah. Well, you have my invitation. Welcome. Because I'm eager for you to explore all of me on these soaking sheets. I need you to feel my passion deep down in your soul. I want to leave a lasting, vivid, stimulating imprint on your brain. Create a special memory that you can revisit every time you hear my name. On these soaking sheets, I have no need to refrain. No. I let loose my inhibitions because the beast inside me cannot be tamed. She's vivid, wild, and sometimes vicious, but only in a good way. Here on these soaking sheets, I love to play. Enticing. Intoxicating your mind with all I have to say.
Listen, read me.
As I give you the truest part of me. No filters or disguise. Just the purest love I have that beats inside of me.
My heart.
So, open up my book and flip through my pages and tell me, can you handle what my ink is saying here on these soaking sheets?
There you have it, everybody. That's right. That was our break for you right there. That's right. A little spoken word from radio director Jennifer Bonaparte. That's right. She is doing her thing. So if you enjoyed that, then definitely you want to stay tuned to the show, because we're gonna, during the breaks, we're gonna mix it up a little bit, music and some more spoken word and more from Jennifer. So yeah, keep it locked. But right now we are gonna go ahead and get into really hot topics. It's a hot one too. Hit it.
Oh, hot, 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 hot. Oh, hot, 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 hot. Oh, hot, 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 hot.
Oh, this show was crazy. Okay, everybody. So now, really hot topic. So this right here, I really had to put this in, because now this what now a lot of times policemen, they have the canines with them, right? To get whomever, to sniff out any drugs or whatever that like people may be carrying. But in this particular video, you know how cops are. They always want to test the limits and always use their power and abuse their power. And always just, people who are unharmed, just treat them so rough and tough. And particularly certain type of people. We won't go there. But look at this this video where the canine actually had a different look of things. Check this out.
A cop decides to body slam a black male. His own dog, the canine, turns against the police. Here it is.
You want to go?
Well, he asked him. What he do? He ain't do that. He ain't. Oh my God! He biting him. He biting his ass.
Put up the picture full mask.
Wow. Now, did y'all see that? So now, as y'all saw, the cop, he body slammed the guy. And then the canine started attacking the cop, right? Because see, they're going to show you that, like, the canine probably knew like something wasn't right. Actually, something wasn't right, So the canine, with their instincts, he just saw like someone attacking someone, and even though that was his leader or whomever, the canine knew that his leader was in the wrong, and so he's attacking the cop, which is really, really good to see. So that video was very telling. And also too, the guy that got body slammed, he has to be at least a teen or early 20s, something like that. And it's like, I don't understand why these policemen feel that they have to treat teenagers or just anybody who is unarmed so brutal and so violent. Whatever happened to, you're the cop, like you're the one that got the tasers and the guns, but why you feel like you have to rough up someone so bad? So I'm glad that canine roughed him up. That's right. So yeah, that was really good. And also too, that like the more I think about it, isn't it, it's kind of what's the word? I don't know, abusive or whatever to even have like dogs in the police academy anyway. Now I understand that, they use their nose, to sniff out drugs and to sniff out whatever. I get that, but to have them to attack people, because think about it, even if you are doing something wrong, but it's kind of bad that, number one, you already have a lot already against you. You have the cops ready to tase you. You have the cops ready to body slam you. You have the cops ready to shoot you. But then you can also stand the chance of having an animal ready to gnaw at you. So it's like a lot goes on with someone, doing a crime now. And I mean, and especially if it's a crime like, if selling drugs or, being in a fight or you stole something. I mean, it's kind of a lot to have. Now you got teeth gnawing in you. So yeah, I don't know. Cause like, actually, with that video, I think it was a comment or somebody had said that, having dogs, in the police academy or whatever is a little bit too much anyway. Like I said, you already have these policemen already doing the most to you, and now you have like an animal ripping you, to shreds. So yeah. So those are really hot topics. All right. So we're gonna move on. So now let's get drunk off the juice. Hit it. All right, everybody. We are still talking about Wendy Williams. That's right, Wendy Williams. Now, listen, Wendy Williams, she gets support of stars including Don Lemon and Alec and Hilaria Baldwin. That's right. Amid her campaign to be released from a legal guardianship, Wendy Williams is enjoying the support of stars. Now, the former talk show host has been declared by a judge to be incapacitated and put under the control of a court-appointed guardian, and she says she's being made to live in a facility she calls a luxury prison. Now, she's launched a legal bid as well as something of a public campaign for hearts and minds to get herself out of both. On Thursday, the former talk show host was spotted out having dinner with Don Lemon at Il Cantonore in NYC. Williams and Lemon were joined by her niece, Alex Finney, and her boyfriend, and the former CNN anchor's husband, Tim Malone. Now, Alec and Hilaria Baldwin were also dining at the restaurant and popped over to Williams' table where they appeared totally supportive of her. They told her she was strong and she'll beat this, and they're behind her. Lemon later talked about the evening on his YouTube show. He revealed it was Alex's first time meeting Williams, and Hilaria told her, "I've been thinking about you, Wendy. I've been worried about you." Lemon described Williams as a foodie and said Wendy was like, "I'm going to eat everything, Don, because the food where I am living is awful." I can imagine. She also remembered details to things I couldn't remember, he said. The irony that she's been admitted to memory unit at the facility where she's living. That's crazy. Now also, they asked her, whether or not, they asked him, whether or not she should be living independently. He did say yes and no. I think she should be free in the sense that she has more autonomy. However, she can go out to dinner with people, he said, but she would have a monitor or a coach with her, and of course security. So that's the update on Wendy. It looks like a lot of stars are actually getting behind her, because I guess actually seeing her actually talking and having full conversations with people, seeing somewhat back in her right mind. It's starting to show people that maybe her being so dementia and all this, maybe it was kind of exaggerated. So good luck to Wendy. Yeah, that's a lot I can say about that. All right, I'm moving on. So now let's get into the Beckham brothers. That's right. Brooklyn Beckham makes out with wife Nicola Peltz at Coachella 2025 amid sibling drama with brother Romeo. Now, everybody, let me tell you something. This right here, to me, this right here hits different to me, because like just following the Beckhams and like remembering when they were just children and all this kind of stuff, and now look at them, the Beckhams. They are now starting to be like the Kardashians. Listen, they're being in the news. Brooklyn right here has wife, and the other Beckham's, Romeo and Cruz, they're now dating. And it's just something to see, how they're flourishing, how they're growing up. And for those of y'all who may not know, these are the children of David and Victoria Beckham. Okay. But getting back on Brooklyn Beckham, he's saying to put his family drama aside on Friday as he spent quality time with his wife, Nicola Peltz Beckham, and engaged in some PDA at Coachella 2025. Now, speaking of Coachella, that maybe one of these days I'll get there. But yeah, Coachella. But then again, it's so wild. I don't know. Anyway, the married couple was photographed smooching each other during Benson Boone's set at the music festival in the desert of Indio, California. Brooklyn could be seen in photos obtained by Page Six with Nicola's hand wrapped around the back of his neck as she pulled him in for a kiss. Now, the festival sighting comes days after it was reported that Brooklyn is currently involved in a feud with his younger brother Romeo over the latter's relationship with girlfriend Kim Turnbull. Now, Turnbull allegedly dated Brooklyn years prior to her romance with the former pro soccer player. However, insiders close to Beckham family told TMZ recently that the sibling rift isn't about jealousy, but rather Turnbull's potential motives for dating another Beckham son. Because of their issues, Brooklyn and Nicola have allegedly decided not to attend any public family events wherever Turnbull is present. The sources claim the feud is the reason why the couple skipped David Beckham's 50th birthday celebration in Miami last month. The insiders claim the conflict is also to blame for Brooklyn and Nicola's absence at Victoria's fashion show in March. So this right here, it says a lot, because I actually saw those pictures, with David's 50th birthday, and I was like, okay, I see all the kids, but where's Brooklyn? And also last month, Victoria, she did have this big fashion show, and once again, no Brooklyn. I think that's very, very sad, because if you follow the Beckhams, you see that, as far as the media is concerned, they really seem, very, close knit, David and Victoria, they're really involved in their kids' lives. And Brooklyn is their oldest son. And it's really sad to know that his dad just had his 50th. That's a milestone, 50th birthday, and he wasn't there. Now, that's not to say that, maybe he didn't call, or maybe, I'm pretty sure, maybe other engagements were happening, for David. So I doubt that one 50th event was the only thing. Maybe they were at other things, but it looks like Brooklyn is just trying to, stay away from that girl Turnbull, because she's now dating his younger brother Romeo. So, we had to do a down the pole question, because, that is two siblings who are dating or who dated the same girl. So we had to do a down the pole question about that. So let's hit it with the down the pole. Hit it. Let's get into it. That's right. Here we go. So now we want to know: is it ever okay for someone to date their sibling's ex? But that's what's happening with the Beckham boys. Like I said, Brooklyn dated the girl Trumbull before, and now Romeo is currently dating her. So is it ever cool for someone to date their sibling's ex? So let's see what you all had to say on social media. Let's see the results. Let's see those results. Here we have it. Okay, so Facebook, 20% says yes. Why not? Why not? With the 80% on Facebook saying no, no, no. Okay, then we go to Instagram. We have 33% who says yes, and with the 67% saying no. So it looks like the majority on both of these platforms say no, that it's not ever cool to date your sibling's ex. But however, but also with those results, you saw that there are still some people that say yes. And I do think that there was one comment that says it all depends on the circumstance or the situation. So so there you have it. There are some people who are in favor of dating their sibling's ex. So there you have it. All right, let's move on to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before that. If you are a Real Housewives of Atlanta, fan or watcher, you know that Kenya Moore's dramatic exit. She had her dramatic exit from the Real Housewives of Atlanta occurred after she was suspended from the show following an incident where she allegedly displayed sexual, explicit images of Brit Iddy during filming. Now, the incident was that that Moore reportedly displayed posters with sexually explicit images. showing that Edie, was doing some things, some things, at her at now. Here's the crazy thing. Kenya did it at her grand opening of her hair spa. So yeah, so nothing. If y'all know these housewives shows, they always have like these antics and all these things. But also at the end of the day, a lot of these things, some of it, we'll say, people will say the stage, but then a lot of it is reality, because the reality is Kenya actually does have a Kenya Moore hair spa in Atlanta. So by this being her grand opening, like, why would you even want that attached? So this is the suspension of exit. So more, she was suspended from the show, and it was later confirmed that she would not be returning to Real Housewives of Atlanta. So if you did watch it 2 Sundays ago, that was the last time you would see Kenya Moore on the show. Because, if you noticed, you didn't see her at all on this past Sunday. The public reaction, People.com reported that Moore took full responsibility for her actions in a tearful interview, stating that she elevated the situation. I did watch that show, and if you all remember, Kenya was actually like during the grand opening, they actually showed Kenya like taking shots of tequila. So that might have also helped infuse her decision to, show those explicit sexual explicit images of Britt Edie. Also too, but now Kenya came ready, because she actually had the cardboard cutouts of the images ready to show. So so from what I saw, I feel like the tequila shots was just her encouragement, to get her the nerve to actually do it. So, and she did it. Now fans' reactions, they have expressed mixed reactions to Moore's exit, with some criticizing Bravo for her ousting and others supporting the network's decision. And then, Kenya Moore's perspective. Moore has stated that she felt her voice was stifled in the marriage to Mark Daly, and that she felt it was best for herself to leave after how she felt the incident had handled. Now, for those of y'all who may not watch The Housewives of Atlanta, and you're wondering why would she do this? Well, there was a previous engagement where all the cast was having a dinner. And some words broke out between Kenya and Britt Edie, and Britt Edie got upset with Kenya, and she was threatening that, I'll pull out my pistol. So so that right there did not set well with Kenya. So she was like, okay, now she's threatening. She's threatening me about a pistol. So okay, I got something for her. And that's what she did at her grand opening. So now, she had something for her, showing sexually explicit photos of that girl. So so no more Kenya for this season. I don't know, maybe season 17, if they have a season 17, maybe Kenya can come back, because I've been hearing the mixed things. I heard that she's not fired, she would have suspended for this season for those photos. So if you are a fan of Kenya, check her YouTube. I heard it, like, she's gonna have like some confessionals happening on YouTube. And also, she may be back for season 17. But until then, you are drunk off the juice. All right, everybody. I want to thank you so much for keeping it real hot and fresh with me. We're at the end of the show with the last segment. But before we get into that, I just want to say also too that hopefully, spring is coming in. Listen, as y'all see, I have my Key West and my Hot in the Mix shirt. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, have some hot vibes coming in, Key West, some hot times on the beach, and of course being hot in the mix of everything. So hopefully spring is actually really, really about this, spring, because here in New York this past weekend, we were in the 40-degree weather. Can you believe that? 40-degree in April. Now, some people say, oh, well, that happens before. I mean, I guess it has, but I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's like, even in New York, whenever I think spring, I'm still thinking that, I'm not looking for like 90 and 80 degree, but at least 60s, like upper 50s, but 40, In April, like really? Now this week we are like in the upper 50s to 60s, so we'll see how it goes. All right, but anyway, let's go ahead and get to the last segment, which is I am my ancestors' wildest dream. Hit it. Alrighty, everybody. Now, this evening, everyone, we honor a man who turned rejection into motivation, struggle into success, and talent into global greatness. Now, let me tell you something. Now, with a lot of stars out there, there could be some anybody. So, who exactly are we talking about? Well, this week we're talking about no other than Michael Jeffrey Jordan. That's right, better known as Michael Jordan. That's right, born on February 17, 1963 in Brooklyn, New York, and raised in Wilmington, North Carolina. Michael Jordan didn't have a golden path laid out for him. Like so many African-American men of his generation, he was raised in a world still shaped by the shadows of segregation and systemic barriers. But his ambition, discipline, and fire were undeniable. I know that's right. One of his earliest hardships came in high school when he was cut from the varsity basketball team as a sophomore, a moment that could discourage many. But for MJ, it lit a fire. He trained relentlessly, outworked everyone, and came back stronger. That setback became the foundation of the mindset and will later define his greatness. Now, after a standout college career at the University of North Carolina, where he hit the game-winning shot in 1982 NCAA championship, Michael entered the NBA in 1984 as the third overall pick by the Chicago Bulls. Now, from there, the legend began. Y'all ready for the legend? But success didn't come easy. He had a battle through fierce competition, early playoff exits, and the pressure of carrying a franchise on his shoulders. Yet, time and time again, he rose above. Now, let's talk about, here's just a glimpse of his extraordinary journey, okay? 6-time NBA champion, 6-time NBA Finals MVP, 5-time NBA Most Valuable Player MVP, 10-time NBA Scoring Championship, 9-time NBA All-Defensive First Team, 14-time NBA All-Star, 2-time Olympic gold medalist between 1984 and 1992, 1996 NBA 50th anniversary team, 2021 NBA 75th anniversary team, and he was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2009. You know, listen, I feel like I just need to drop my mic from just that right there. Michael didn't just dominate the court. He transcended the game. He became a cultural icon, a marketing juggernaut, and a symbol of Black excellence and perseverance. He turned his name into a global brand, Air Jordan, that revolutionized sneaker culture and athletic endorsements forever. Today, he's the first NBA player to become a billionaire, a successful businessman, former team owner, and philanthropist, all while carrying the dreams of generations who never thought such success was possible. Michael Jordan once said, "I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I can't accept not trying." Wow, that's huge. And try he did until he became the greatest of all time, the GOAT. That's right. So tonight, everybody, once again, we celebrate Michael Jordan, a man whose legacy proves that with grit, greatness is not only possible, it's inevitable. He's truly his ancestors' wildest dream. Now, that right there is a mouthful because he definitely is. I mean, yeah, so that's why, I mean, nothing against LeBron James, but, these days, whenever you hear people like, oh, who's the greatest of all time? I mean, come on now, listen. In my opinion, you still got to keep that right with this man right here, Michael Jordan, because, yeah, I remember it. Yeah, he's a conversation piece, okay? He's a whole conversation, everything. So once again, we want to congratulate and give a big shout out to this week's I am my answer's wildest dream, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. There you have it. Cool. All right, everybody. So once again, I do want to thank you so much for keeping it raw and fresh with me for today's show. Today was a great show. A lot of information. So hopefully you all enjoyed it. Once again, be sure to leave your comments in the chat. And for anything that you want to talk about or comment on, I'll definitely be sure to read it. Also, too, I do want to invite you to check me out on my website. That way, you'll see more things on Fly World Media. And also Z-Fly as well. So check out the website, everybody. And also, it's a great website. You can, learn a lot about me and just the hustle, just the brand, and so much more. Also, too, just to let you know that I'm also on Spotify. Yeah, I'm about to StreamYard. I'm on StreamYard too, as you can see, but I'm also on Spotify. So definitely check out Spotify. For those of you all who are on the go, where maybe you don't have time to watch me, you can always listen to me on Spotify at Real Hot Fresh. Check me out. You'll see multiple seasons or mainly all the seasons of the show. You can go all the way, take it on back to the past, to season 1, and check me out. So, yep. Also, too, for those of you all who are loving the show, I want to support me, then guess what? Let me go ahead and drop some Cash App and Zales and all that. If you want to throw some, throw a little something my way, I very much appreciate that because listen, it takes every penny, to keep the Fly World Media spinning. So if you want to support me, definitely check out the information below where you can send to whatever platform that you have. Also, everybody, just to let you know, also, once again, coming up this week, remember, check me out at in Raleigh, North Carolina. If you are in Raleigh, North Carolina, at the 3 Seasons Vendor Market, I will be there with the Lavender Project, with my table set up, ready to spread awareness on women diagnosed with uterine or uterine cancer. I'm about to say uterine. Well, it's also endometrial cancer, but same thing. Uterine/endometrial cancer. So check me out on this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in Raleigh, North Carolina. Also this weekend, as you all, there you go. There, right there. Yes. So check me out right there. That's where I will be, 9500 Forum Drive in Raleigh, North Carolina. Also, excuse me. It's the spot we're going to be in. I do know that it's like a plaza, so we're going to be behind the Target. So there's a Target there, so look like kind of behind the Target and like the parking area in the Target area. So yeah. Also too, what's happening this weekend is Easter. Everybody, Easter. So as you all know, we air live on Wednesdays anyway. So we're going to miss Easter, but we are going to go ahead and celebrate the Easter holiday on our day. So everybody, so next week, April 23rd, which is Wednesday, there will be no show. Everybody, not sure. We're going to go ahead and celebrate the Easter holiday on our time. So April 23rd, there will be no show. But don't worry, because you will definitely have an encore show that we will that we will present for you. So look out for the encore show. You never know what show it's going to be. It could be a show that you missed. So definitely look out for that next Wednesday. But the following Wednesday, we will be back with a brand new show. So everybody have a great weekend. Have a great Easter weekend, Good Friday, all those things. If you are very religious and spiritual, then, it's Good Friday for you, and Easter, the day he rose, and all that good stuff. So, I think that's all I had to say. So until next time, 2 weeks, everybody. I will see you in 2 weeks. So definitely stay fly, stay safe, and drink, be merry, get a little high, but not too high. And until then, bye-bye.